Hi guys, welcome to my channel. So this time we're going to have operations on rational numbers. Okay, so just like in the gem dash, among the four fundamental operations, we'll start with the multiplication and division. So correct me if I'm wrong. Of the fundamental operations on rational numbers, it's easier to do multiplication or division than to add or subtract fractions, right? So let's get started. Now before we have these rational numbers to be multiplied, let us recall first the rule in multiplying rational numbers. So let's have it. Now, in multiplying rational numbers, first, you have to check if there is at least one pair of numerator and denominator that can be divided by a number other than 1. Because if that's the case, cancellation can be performed. Then after that, you may multiply the numerators and denominators. Now question, is it okay if I'm going to multiply the numerators and denominators and I'll do simplifying after? Yes, that's fine. Okay? But then for this method, your answer will be in the simplest form already. So why not do the cancellation first and then multiply after so that the resulting number will be a number in the simplest form. So let's apply the rules. Let's have the first one. We are to multiply 3 over 28 by 7 ninths. So as the rule says, okay, I'm sorry, I'm going to use the white one. Okay, as the rule says, you're going to check if there is at least one pair of numerator and denominator that can be divided by a number other than 1. So in the given, we'll notice that 28 and 7 can still be divided by 7. So 28 becomes 4 and 7 becomes 1. And aside from that, we also have another pair, 3 and 9, wherein the 2 can be divided by 3. So 3 becomes 1 and 9 becomes 3. Now that you're done with the cancellation, you may proceed to the next step, which is multiplying the remaining numerators and denominators. Okay? So on the numerators, we have 1 and 1. So the product would be 1. All over the denominator, 4 multiplied by 3 is 12. Therefore, our final answer is 1 over 12. Okay? So let's move on to the next one. The second given is 6 multiplied by negative 7 over 18. So we now have a whole number to be multiplied by a fraction. Okay? For a whole number, we all know that every whole number has a denominator of 1. Okay? But it's optional. If you want to write 1 as a denominator or not, that would be fine. So let's apply the rule again. You check if there exists at least a pair of numerator and denominator that can be divided by a number other than 1. So in this case, we have 6 and negative 18 or 18. 6 and 18 can be divided by 6. So 6 becomes 1 and 18 becomes 3. And aside from that, there's no other pair of numerator and denominator that can be paired. Okay, that can be cancelled rather. Okay, so if that's the case, then we proceed to the multiplication of the numerators and denominators. So 1 multiplied by negative 7 is negative 7 all over 1 multiplied by 3 is 3. And there you have negative 7/3. Take note, if the fraction is negative, okay, it is proper to write the negative sign beside the numerator or maybe on the same level of the bar that separates the numerator and denominator. Answer in simplest form does not accept a negative sign on the denominator. Okay? So, bawal yun. Bawal. Kailangan lang sa numerator or kapantay lang no bar that separates the numerator and denominator. Okay? So, let's move on to the next one. The next one is, we have here 3 factors, but one of the factors is squared. So, take note, when we squared number, it means we are multiplying it by itself. So, ang gagawin natin muna ay kunin natin yung square ng 3/4. So, we just rewrite the rest, 5/12 multiplied by, the square of 3/4 is 9 over 16. And then multiplied by negative 24. And since you already raise 3/4 to the second power, it's the best time to do cancellation. Okay? So, We select a pair that can be cancelled. 12 and 9 are divisible by 3. 12 divided by 3 is 4. And 9 divided by 3 is 3. Aside from that, we also have 16 and 24, negative 24. They are divisible by 8. So 16 becomes 2. And negative 24 becomes negative 3. And upon looking at the numerators and denominators, there are no more pair of numerator or denominators that can be cancelled. So we proceed to the multiplication of the remaining numerators and denominators. So 5 times 3 is 15, times negative 3 is negative 45. And on the denominators, we have 4 multiplied by 2 is 8. So we have negative 45 over 8. Now, question, I need to convert it into a mixed number? There's no need. Improper fraction will do. Okay? So there you have negative 45 over 8. Let's proceed to the next one. Now, the next operation to be performed between rational numbers is division. Okay? So let's recall the rules. Okay, it says here that when you divide two rational numbers, you must get the reciprocal of the divisor first. Pero ang tanong, ano yung divisor sa mathematical sentence? It is the one found after the division sign. And then right after getting the reciprocal of the divisor, you have to change the division sign into multiplication sign. Kasi sabi dyan, proceed to multiplication. So let's have the first one. Okay, we are to divide negative 24 by 6 over 10. So, susundin natin yung rule. Sabi dyan, get the reciprocal of the divisor. The divisor is 6 tenths. So, getting the reciprocal of it, we have 10 sixths. And then the division sign will be changed into multiplication sign. And we copy negative 24, which is the dividend. Okay? Now, we do cancellation. Negative 24 and 6 are divisible by 6. So negative 24 becomes negative 4 and 6 becomes 1. And this time, we now proceed to the multiplication of numerators and denominators. So negative 4 times 10 is negative 40. As you can see, the denominator is 1, so there's no need to write it. The final answer will then be negative 40. Okay? Let's move on to the next one. The next one is 7/3 divided by 49. So as you can see here, the whole number is placed on the position of the divisor. So sabi dyan, we get the reciprocal of the divisor. Okay? And with this, we have 7 all over 3, then multiplied by 1 over 49. Okay? And then check if you can do cancellation. So, upon observing on the numerators and denominators, si 7 and 49 pwedeng i-cancel. Because they are both divisible by 7. 7 becomes 1 and 49 becomes 7. And then, multiply the remaining numerators and denominators. 1 and 1 is 1. 3 and 7 is 21. There you have 1 over 21. Okay? So, I'll be erasing the writing so that we'll have enough space. Okay? And then, balik natin itong si 1 and 2. Let's now have number 3. So, this time, we have two fractions to be divided. Okay? So, the divisor is negative 27 over 16. So, sabi, unang gagawin, kunin ang reciprocal ng divisor. So, negative 16 over 25. And then, enclose natin sa parentheses. Okay, and then the division sign will be turned into the multiplication sign. We have 5 over 32 as our dividend. So, copyhin lang natin yan. And then, we proceed to cancellation. 32 and negative 16 can be divided by 16. 32 becomes 2, and negative 16 becomes negative 1. Aside from that, si 5 and 25 pwede rin. Pwedeng i-divide sa 5. So, si 5 magiging 1. Si 25 ay magiging 5. And then, since you're done with the cancellation, you proceed to the multiplication of the numerators and denominators. So, 1 and negative 1 is negative 1 all over 10. There you have the resulting number to be negative 1/10. Okay? So, let's move on to the next. The next one is the last two operations. So this time, pinagsama natin yung addition and subtraction of rational numbers simply because they are following the same rule. And ano yung dapat natin tandaan dyan? Okay. It says here that only similar fractions can be added or subtracted. Now, if we can't remember what similar fractions are, kailangan maging clear sa atin yon muna. So, similar fractions are fractions with the same denominators. Now, what will happen if the given fractions to be added or subtracted do not have the same denominators? Then, that's an example of dissimilar fractions. And if that's the case, we get the LCD for us to make them similar fractions. And after you're done making the fractions similar, you're now ready to do addition or subtraction. Okay? And simplify the answer if possible. Now, let's proceed. Okay? So, let's have the first one. So, we have, for number 1, we have a set of similar fractions. As you can see, pare-parehas ang denominators nila. So, I'll be writing the denominator once. That's 5. And I'll be copying the numerator. So, 13. We have plus negative. The rule of signs, positive times negative is negative. And then 11. Then minus 4. Okay? So, we have here 13 minus 11 minus 4. So, I'll first add those integers with same signs. Negative 11 and negative 4 is negative 15 all over 5. And 13 minus 15 is negative 2 over 5. Therefore, the final answer will be negative 2/5. Okay? Let's proceed to the next. So, the next one, this time we have the similar fraction. So, sabi dyan, we get the LCD. Paano ngayon kinukuha ang LCD? Okay. There are many ways to get the LCD. 1, sometimes the LCD is one of the denominators given. You just have to be very observant. 2, the LCD can be obtained by getting the product of the denominators also. And 3, if 1 and 2 won't work, then the third one could be you list down all the multiples of the denominators, and whichever is the least common, okay, multiple among the multiples you've listed, that's the LCD already. So in this case, 6 and 2, upon observing, 6 is divisible by 2, therefore, nasa denominator lang ang LCD natin, so 6. Since the first fraction is a denominator 6, we then copy the numerator of it. And then for the next one, we divide the LCD by the denominator. So 6 divided by 2, that's 3 times 7 is 21. And then, we now perform the operation on the numerator. 21 minus 5 is 16. All over 6. Now, will this be the final answer? Not yet, because we can still simplify this. We can get the GCF, and the GCF is 2. So, divisible sila sa 2. Then divide both 16 and 6 by 2. You have 8/3. And that will be our answer. Okay? Let's move on to the third one. So, the third one is 5/3 minus 3/4. So, kita nyo dyan, 4 cannot be divided by 3 and so with 3 by 4. So, we try to multiply naman the denominators. 3 and 4 is 12. And 12 can divide both 3 and 4. So, let's continue. 12 divided by 3 is 4 times 5 is 20. 12 divided by 4 is 3 times negative 3 is negative 9. We perform the operation on the numerator. We then have 11 over 12. And that's our answer. Okay? So, erase muna natin ang mga writings and then balik natin tong mga to. So, we can have space for number 4. So, in number 4, we have negative 5/9 plus 11/6 minus 8/3. So, this time naman ay ang LCD natin ay hindi makukuha sa isa sa mga denominators, hindi rin product. So, we list down. Okay? So, 9, 6, and then 3. Since si 9 yung pinakamalaki, doon tayo magsisimula. So, 9. Hindi pwede. Sunod, 18. Upon writing 18, you can observe that 18 is divisible by 6. 6, 12, 18. Nandun siya, oh. 18 is divisible by 3 also. 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, and 18. So, since it's common and it's the list, okay, so this will be the LCD, 18. Okay, so we write 18 on the denominator. Okay, so our denominator is 18, our LCD is 18. We then proceed to the process. 18 divided by 9 is 2, multiplied by negative 5 is negative 10. 18 divided by 6 is 3, multiplied by 11 is 33. And 18 divided by 3 is 6, multiplied by negative 8 is negative 48. So, unahin natin yung may same signs. Negative 48 and negative 10 is negative 58. Okay? Plus 33 all over 18. Now, negative 58 added to 33 is a negative number equivalent to negative 25 all over 18. Now, negative 25 and 18 can no longer be divided by a number other than 1. Okay, so ayusin ko lang itong 8 natin. So, ito na yung ating final answer, negative 25 over 18. Okay, so that's it for the operations on rational numbers. I hope that you learned something from this, and that would be all. Bye!